Hello and welcome to my tutorial about using dynamic sidebars in WordPress. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using a simple WordPress installation with the 2010 theme. I called it My Site, and what I'm going to do in this tutorial is to change the sidebar's content by the type of the page you are on. So if you are on a page, I want the sidebars to have different containers, different widgets. If I'm at home, I want also different, and if I'm on, let's say, a post, I want also different sidebars than the other pages. So if you see the widgets area in WordPress admin, you can see it comes, the 2010 theme comes with 6 sidebars places. The first is primary, secondary, and the 4 others are for the footer. So if we look at the code, I'm using Zen Studio to edit my PHP files. So we'll go to WP content, themes, the 2010 theme. If we'll go to the functions PHP file and roll down, we can see this function 2010 widgets init. Here WordPress will load all the sidebars identification, all the sidebars characteristics. For instance, the first sidebar we saw there was primary widget area. Its ID is primary widget area. The ID is when we call the sidebar from the HTML to render it. So this is the ID of the sidebar that in WordPress admin will be this name. This is the description of the sidebar. This is what will wrap the widgets in this sidebar with. So if we put this sidebar, this primary widget area, inside the UL, so it's obviously will be LIs to wrap the widget. So after that, we can see how the title will be. Every widget has a title, so this is the title will start with header 3 with the class widget title, and will end with header 3. As you can see, we have 6 functions here, like the 6 sidebars, 1 for primary, secondary, and 4 for the footers sidebars. Okay, so let's go over the sidebar pages. Okay, we can see we have a sidebar PHP and sidebar footer PHP. Let's talk just about the sidebar PHP because it's the most important one for now. We can see here that the sidebar starts with div, primary, and UL. Inside the UL, we have this function. This function says if the sidebar with the ID primary widget area has widgets on it in the WordPress administration panel, then show it. If not, show all of these. Okay, sounds pretty nice. Then it ends the UL, the div. After that, the 2010 theme comes with another sidebar, and it checks if the sidebar is active, secondary widget area. If so, then draw it. If not, don't do anything. So that's pretty much the sidebar. As we can see, we have widgets in our sidebars. This is not a widget, I tested it. We have widget in our primary widget area and a secondary widget area we don't have. So because of that, cleaning this part, which will only show if we don't have widgets, will not affect any of our sidebar widgets. As you can see, everything is still here. I can go through pages, go to posts, everything is still here. So what will happen if I want, okay, I forgot. Let's first of all show where these sidebars are called from. So if we'll go to, let's say, our index, which is the index is the main page, the home page of the default WordPress installation. So we can see that before we get the footer, we get the sidebar. Get sidebar with no ID in it, with no parameters, we'll call the default sidebar, which is that sidebar PHP. If we'll go to the footer, for example, and we'll see get sidebar footer, it calls this file sidebar footer. So let's try to add another sidebar to our only to our homepage, only to our index. So what I did okay, let's add a new, you know what, yes, let's take the sidebar, we can copy and paste it here, yes, we'll call it sidebar home. All I did was copy and pasted the sidebar PHP and called it with a new name, and now I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to change the call to the dynamic sidebar to home, with the sidebar with the ID of home, and in this, and I don't want any secondary sidebar, let's say on the home page. Okay, everything still works, everything's still fine. I didn't do anything with this sidebar. So we'll go now to our functions and register the new sidebar. To do that, let's just copy one of the registered sidebars functions, so it won't take us time. We'll call it home page sidebar. The ID will be home, as the ID we specified in here. The description will be the sidebar of the home page. Okay, and it wants the widgets to be wrapped still with li and the titles with header 3. So we can see we added another sidebar. Let's look how it gets in WordPress. And here it is. We have a homepage sidebar. We can now drag things over it. Let's drag, let's say, categories, and write in the title categories homepage, just so we can be sure this is the widget we are talking about. Let's save. Let's go to the homepage, and nothing happened. We still see our regular sidebar. So what we need to do, what we forgot to do, is go to our index PHP and change the sidebar name for it to get to home. Now if we go to home, we can see we have the categories homepage, and in any other page we'll have this regular sidebar. You can do lots of things with adding sidebars. This is just a simple thing. What you can do with it is add sidebars before the text, after the text in the single PHP, different sidebars for pages, for different pages templates, for attachment pages, for categories, tags, archive, index. Every page type you want, you can add, you can put different sidebars in. And it's pretty simple, you see, with the WordPress mechanism. All you need to do is register the sidebar. After that, create a new sidebar page, PHP page, like this, so the sidebar can be loaded, and call this sidebar from anywhere you like in our index PHP file. Here, only in the home page, we called the home sidebar. Okay, so I am Dor, and this is my tutorial about using dynamic sidebars in WordPress. I hope you enjoyed and learned. If you have any comments or feedbacks, please write them, because I really need them for the next tutorials. Thank you.